Hi and welcome back. Okay, let's try this problem together. So a ball is thrown and its height is given by this quadratic equation. I want to know how long it takes to hit the ground. Okay, so let's think about this. We've got a negative parabola over here. So we know it's going to be this shape and it goes like so, which makes sense. That's probably the trajectory of a ball. The height, when it hits the ground, is going to be 0. Okay, so it goes in the air and then it goes back in the ground, so our height should be 0. So what we could do is write out this equation and make it equal to 0 and then solve for t. So let's do that. So we've got minus 5t squared plus 20t plus 1. And remember, any quadratic can be written in this form, ax squared plus bx plus c. So a is just what's in front of my x squared term, in this case t squared term. So in this case, a is neg 5. Very important that you don't forget the negative. A lot of students do. My b value is just what's in front of my t, so 20. And my c is just what my constant is, which is 1. Let's write the quadratic formula out, which is minus b plus or minus square root of b squared, take 4ac all over 2a. Okay, let us plug in our values. So we've got negative b, so negative 20 plus or minus square root of b squared, so 20 squared, take 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so then your next step is to work out what's underneath the square root. So 20 squared is 400, and then we can also work out this. Be careful of your double negatives. So neg 4 times neg 5 times 1 is positive 20. So we're left with negative 20 plus or minus square root of, whoops, let's do that again, 20 squared, which is 400, and minus 4 times minus 5 times 1 is 20, all over 2 times neg 5, which is neg 10. So that simplifies down to minus 20 plus or minus 420 over neg 10. Okay, can we split the 420 into two square numbers? Well, we know 4 goes into it. 4 times 105 is 420, right? 4 times 105, yeah, is 420. So we could split that 420 into 4 times 105, and it will be over neg 10. And the reason I do that is the square root of two factors, you could just split them. So if you have the square root of a and b, you could just split it to square root of a times the square root of b. So we're going to do that over here. So we have neg 20 plus or minus square root of 4 times the square root of 105 all over neg 10. And the square root of 4 is 2. So we could write this as minus 20 plus or minus 2 root 105 over neg 10. And we could take out negative 2 as a factor from the numerator, and that would leave me with 10 plus or minus root 105, and we've got neg 10 on the bottom, and therefore we could cancel out this neg 2 with this neg 10, because neg 2 is common to both of them, and that would just become a positive 5. So I'm left with 10 plus or minus root 105 all over 5. Okay, so that means I have two solutions. My time is either 10 take root 105 on 5 or 10 plus root 105 on 5. Okay, so the square root of 105 is just slightly above 10. The reason you know that is square root of 100 is 10, So if you square root 105, it's going to be a bit above 10. That means that this would be negative, right? Because you're doing 10 minus a slightly bigger number divided by 5. And time can't be negative. So in this instance, we would reject this answer. So it's important to write out all your steps to show all your working and then present the final solution. So the ball hits the ground when time is 10 plus root 105 divided by 5. So well done if you got that question correct or if you're able to follow that through. It was quite challenging, so good work. Thank you for watching and see you next time.